Here's one where I tell her I don't want to talk about this in front of the children. These aren't the conversations you have in front of kids. But she wants to keep pushing and pushing. Again, a woman who's afraid of her abusive husband keeps pushing. I tell her I don't hit the kids. There I tell her hitting is never supposed to be an option.
You told me that I did something wrong when I dropped a kid a foot off the ground, and then you turn around and yell at me and slam doors. And
again, you're talking about it's all about correcting your behavior. So it's very frustrating to me that in our dialogue about this, I don't hear any I statements.
what did I do wrong? I walked away when you got
I don't hear any ownership of anything, anytime that we have a disagreement. It feels like, to me, that no matter what it is, somehow, it's because.
What did I do wrong?
Through these recordings, you will hear me repeatedly ask her what I did, and she can't answer it.
What would you like to know? What did you do
The one
wrong
that just
there?
happened, that we just...
Do you want to rehash the whole thing right now?
Not really in front of the kids. Not really in front of the kids, but you're the one who's sitting here and wants to keep talking about it and telling me that I'm being quiet and I'm not communicating. So obviously we're going to talk about this in front of the kids.
I'm talking about strategizing. I'm not talking about rehashing.
Well, strategizing includes talking about what is wrong. I mean, you
Do you
can't...
understand the difference between strategizing and rehashing? Do you know what I'm asking about communication right now? I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I'm talking about communicating on how to parent them and us talking about what we should do, what we shouldn't do, what we agree on, what we don't agree on. Coming up with a plan on how to manage situations that he puts us into. I'm talking about that kind of conversation. I'm not talking about rehashing and throwing more daggers at each other. That doesn't make any sense. That solves nothing.
But it's what it takes.
That's part of why he acts out the way he does. So I think it is worth talking about.
You believe that he acts out because we're rehashing?
No, because of the slamming doors and yelling and being hit and things like that.
Okay, but you're not offering any solutions. All you're doing is going, you do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. You have zero solutions, zero strategy.
I think that not hitting him, not slamming doors, not acting out in anger
Until
ourselves.
you are willing to step up and be the father in this situation and actually take him by the horns and say, and back me up, one of us has to be the heavy, period. Spare the rod, spoil the child. If you allow the child to walk all over you, and there is no measure of control, then you don't have a child that's going to listen at all. You look at it as your parents did beat you. You were an abused child. That's not this. Is that what you think?
I think you should never hit a kid.
Spanking is not an option? Are you serious? Do you see
No,
all the
spanking
kids
is not
out
an
there
option.
acting
That's why I
out?
have colon and bladder damage, because my parents spanked me.
They beat you. There's a difference.
Picking a kid up by his arm and hitting him as hard as you can is not beating your child. That's disciplining him out of anger.
So your strategy is no strategy. What is your strategy then?
Exactly what I do. I talk to him, I give him time
No,
out.
you don't. No, you don't.
Okay, like I said, then I'll sit here and just take it from you now.
You don't? Well, okay, so see, here we go. Again, not a conducive conversation, is it? When somebody turns around and goes, no, you, don't do that, you don't do
I didn't
that.
sit him on the picnic table and give him a timeout yesterday. I didn't sit there and explain to him afterwards what he did wrong and why we don't do that. on me and tell me, no, I don't.
You don't.
Did I not do that
you
yesterday?
walk away.
Did I not do that yesterday?
I wasn't there.
Yes, you were.
When?
You were at the camper door, and you told him, go talk to your dad. And I set him on the picnic table, gave him a timeout. Came back and said, this is what you did wrong and why we don't do that. You were there for the whole thing. You watched it.
No, I was in the camper making dinner when that happened. I was not there for the whole thing.
You were in the doorway watching me.
No,
I
I
watched
was
you.
in the camper with the door closed. I sent him outside and said, you talk to him about this. I went in and took care of the cat and making dinner. I was not standing in the doorway of the camper in that situation. It was not. Again, is this conducive to us coming up with something that we agree with?
I don't know. I don't ever get to talk. All I'm ever told is I'm wrong, shut up. That didn't happen when it did.
I never say those words. I don't like that phrase. I have never said that to you. Those are words I do not use. I don't like those words.
No, but F me is better. You want me to
I haven't said that. When have I said that?
You just said it a couple of days ago when we went to Sault Ste. Marie. What was that, yesterday or the day
I did
before?
not say that.
Yes, you did.
Get out of the car. This is a waste of time. You don't know how to have a healthy dialogue. You want to just continue to bring up the past. I'm talking about...
This isn't the past. This was yesterday. The day before.
This is not a healthy dialogue. When you're ready to be an adult and have adult conversations about the best way that we can work through this as parents and adults, I will do that. Until then, I'm not going to sit here and rehash and finger point with you. It doesn't solve anything.
See the moon?
Again, you see who the kids are with. They're with me. They come to me. I take care of the kids. So I'm going to fast forward this to where our conversation picks back up.
I did try to say stuff. You didn't want to hear what I had to say. Did I say that? Again, you put words in my mouth over and over and over. But I'm the negative one here, right?
You can't sit and poke at people and accuse them of being a terrible parent and not have them think that's what you think. What do you think? Why don't you spit the words out of your mouth?
I already did.
What are your words?
When you look at a kid who is acting angry and violent, you look at the anger and violence he's been subject to.
Like what you do.
What did I do?
Own it.
What did
you
I do?
You own yours because I have clearly stood up and owned mine.
You did?
For once in your life, will you just admit that you also have anger problems and have treated him in an angry way and treated me in an angry way, and that he sees that too, from me, not just
How long
Will you own it?
How How long?
It still happens.
When?
Jason.
When was the last time it happened?
It still happens all the
When?
time. He put a dog collar in front of your face while you're sleeping, and you whip it across the room and yell, "Stop it!"
I didn't whip anything across the room.
Yeah, you did. You did. Own it. Say, "I have a problem too."
I have a problem too. Are you happy?
Yes. Because every time you just want to point the finger at me, you refuse to also acknowledge your own problem.
Let me ask you something. Would you be angry if I sat and called you your dad's name and told you you're a worthless piece of shit like him?
You're bringing up history.
This just happened last week.
No, it didn't happen
It
last
didn't?
week. It was last month.
No, it wasn't a month ago. It was when you just had our phone. The day you went to the store, the cell phone store to have our.
Yeah, that was a month ago.
That was 2 weeks ago.
That was a month ago. Jason, I'm having to pay the bill again now. It was a month ago.
We didn't even pay the bill
And
then.
besides the fact, sitting here and constantly bringing up the past, the poke,
Because you don't want to hear about what you do. You'll take this class and all you'll do is point it at me and say, this is what you need to do, but you never look at yourself. You never sit and do the things
I'm
yourself.
asking you to do it with me, not just sit here and tell me that I need to do shit.
I've already
I'm
taken
asking
the
you-
class. I've already done it. I've even told you the top 3 rules, and you told me you don't
What
listen to none of
class?
it.
What are you talking
I have already
Did you
taken-
sit in a class with your wife?
I said yes.
Did you sit in a class with your wife?
Actually, I did.
Have
My
you
ex-wife.
ever sat in a class with your wife who's standing in front of you right this minute?
No, I
Have
haven't.
you ever sat and done anything like that with me?
No, I have not.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Maybe we can do something different. That's what I'm
Baby,
asking.
until you get yourself under control and get the help
No.
that you need, yes. Because you cannot sit here and tell me that you're going to sit here and abuse me the way you have. You were pushing me, shoving me, you've hit me, you've thrown stuff at me, you cuss at me, you tell me you call me by my dad's name, tell me I'm a worthless fucking parent, I'm a worthless piece of shit, I do nothing for my kids. Have I ever said anything like that to you? Ever.
No, I haven't, because I don't
But
talk
I'm
to
supposed to
anybody
tell
that
you.
way.
Flip my switch and just...
Then why are we even here?
Well, you said this is what you wanted.
Why
You're
did
supposed
you
to
even
make me
come
happy.
here?
Because I'm
Why
still
did you
willing to
even
try.
drag me here?
I didn't drag you here. Remember, you were going to leave me if I didn't do this. You went to a therapist with me, the psychologist, and told him he's just a stupid fucking psychologist because I wouldn't leave my son to come do this. Remember that?
What are you talking
You
about?
don't-
What kind of history are you pulling out of your ass right now, Jason
You don't
Westfall?
remember doing that. We sat right in our driveway while
Jason,
your mom was-
I don't keep a fucking log like you do. You're like this.
You don't remember any
Here's
of this
one,
stuff.
here's another one, here's another one, here's another one.
Because this
Okay,
doesn't
here,
end. It's
guess
been
what?
2 straight
I
years of
I
this.
believe in God, but I don't believe in forgiveness. I don't believe in forgiveness. Nope,
How
I'm
do
gonna
you
keep
forgive
doing
when
this.
It still happens
I'm gonna
daily
keep
and
doing
daily
this.
and daily
I'm gonna
and
keep
daily.
doing this. Okay, now, okay, I'm gonna do this some more.
Will you stop it? You want to tell everybody else to own it, but you won't even own your own.
I have owned my shit so many times over and over and over and over and over and over. Jason, I don't know.
Well,
I
maybe
don't.
if you
I
stopped
don't
acting
sit
like
here.
that, you wouldn't have to keep owning it.
I don't sit here and continue to
You're
bring
going to tell
up
me it's okay
the
to hit our
last,
children. No, it's
the
not.
past.
That is one of the things you'll probably learn in that class. But you don't want to hear it from me, because I'm not...
Keep attacking me.
But that was the past, even though it just happened today. I have been physically and verbally abused by you for the past 2 years, and it still continues to happen, but bring up the past, because the past isn't the past till it ends. It's never ended. You were just hitting me and pushing me and charged me and shoved me in the yard over there just a few weeks ago. That should never happen. But yet it's been going on for 2 years. And I don't know how to make you stop, because I try to put my arms out, say I love you, give me a hug, and you just grind your teeth and scream at me to get away from you. You even just said right before all of this happened today, this afternoon at dinner time, that you have an anger, that you were feeling... That is an adult dialogue. It's just not what you want to hear.
It doesn't work like this. You fuck up all the time. You do this, you do that, you do this, you do that, you do that. You. That's not how it works. Maybe an I statement like, I realize that it is not a good environment that we have here. It hasn't been a good environment, and we've been working on it. I acknowledge that. I recognize that. I recognize that every month I am going through a cycle that I have no control over right now. And I don't have the right medicine or the right hormones or... Shut your lips and listen.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Okay? Do you hear what I'm saying though?
Mm-hmm.
I realize I have that problem. I've been very honest with you for months about this problem.
But you don't realize that
I understand how you feel about this problem. But I also am asking, as your wife, my husband, to give me some grace and to forgive the times that you have been wronged, just as I have forgiven you the times that you have wronged me.
Well, instead of forgiving, I fear that it's going to happen again at any minute.
I
Because it does.
believe that forgiveness and grace would go volumes. Because when a husband and a wife keep a record of wrongs, that never ends well. When a husband and a wife want to keep pulling from ancient history to hurt one another, it doesn't end well. And that's not forgiveness. And that's not grace. And it's not love, right?
I don't know.
No, love is hitting your spouse and abusing your
It's
spouse.
hard to
And
get over a past when it still continues to happen. And
I'm a
it's not
human
the past.
being. I'm a broken human being who's suffering. As your wife, I have said this to you. You have said this to me. You are a broken human being who has been wounded and is suffering. Are you not?
Yes.
So we are two broken human beings, wounded, suffering, trying to do the right thing by each other and our family. And guess what? I fuck it up. You fuck it up. I try to do my best. I pray for help. I try to get help. I'm making the right decisions to try to do things different. I'm not out doing drugs. I'm not out fucking around. I'm not out getting drunk. I'm not doing coping mechanisms that I used to do, which you don't even grasp.
But yet she still did it through our whole marriage.
And instead, I get persecution from you when I'm experiencing this. There's no grace. There's no response of, honey, I understand that you're in this cycle time. Just go be. Instead, you get all in a frenzy. So
I'm going to stop there for just a minute. Now, this is part of the bipolar disorder, and I'm going to ask people to watch. I mean, I found a wonderful, wonderful channel, Polar Warriors. This man was so kind to come out, and he actually reached out to me and talked to me and gave me validation over everything that I had seen and everything that I'm playing for you today. This is part of the mental disorder. It causes, I found out my next door neighbor, I mean, in 2020, I walked up and down these streets crying day after day, and my neighbor saw me one day and goes, "Why are you out here crying every day?" And I explained my story. He told me that his brother's bipolar, and for 18 years as of 2020, every single year, he leaves his wife, goes out and has affairs, does drugs, screws his whole life up, and then comes back and snaps out of it and says, "Oops, I'm sorry," and realizes what he's done. Only difference is he doesn't take his children with him and put them through it. And whatever he's suffering from, he leaves them home with the mother. This is real. I don't know. I'll finish playing this and I don't know.
it doesn't work if we're both in a frenzy.
No, that's why I walk away. But you don't.
But
let me. You follow me.
I need to walk away.
But you don't. You follow me. Keep going on and on.
You walk away makes me feel abandoned. Like fuck her,
No,
fuck
I-
them. I need to walk away.
Then do it.
I can't. You don't allow it.
I tried walking away and you followed me.
You walked away. I didn't
Then how
get
do I get you to walk away? How? What am I? I've tried everything.
I tell you, I need time when I'm having this. I need to be away. I need to be away. Until I get in to see this doctor, I've been telling you this for months.
Then how do you,
I need
go
to get in
away
to
and
see
not
the
make
doctor.
me feel like I want you to leave me, because that's not what it is. I just want to stop the anger and...
You can't stop the anger with anger, right?
That's why I just been... When was the last time I was angry? I keep my mouth shut.
You were just angry in here earlier. Don't lie about it. Say you were frustrated, you were irritated,
I was
whatever
frustrated.
you were. Okay, but that fled into me, and I had just minutes before said, I'm feeling really edgy right now. I verbalized to you, I'm feeling really edgy right now, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
And I told you days ago, my cycle is getting ready to start. I'm trying to communicate with you about this is what's happening with me in this time period. It's no different than when you had your ileostomy and you were up and you were down and you were back and you were forth and you were, it's the same thing. I'm not an awful fucking evil bitch.
That is why I'm here, because I know you're not.
But to sit here and bring up history, that's not forgiveness. You can't look at your wife in the face and say, I love you and I forgive you. And I know that wasn't what you didn't mean those things. And I apologize for hurting you. And when you say you accept an apology, that means you accept and you let it go. Anybody that apologizes to me, it means I accept it and I
There is something
forgive
you have to understand. It's not a matter of forgiveness, what I'm saying. If you want to understand a kid who's acting out in anger and acting out in violence, he has seen an awful lot of it.
From both of us.
Yes.
Okay, because that's the part that edges me too, is that you're like, you're fucking crazy, bitch.
No,
You're always
no.
You've been half-cocked yourself for quite some time, sir.
Actually, for quite some time, I've been the calmest I've ever been in my entire
Okay,
life.
I'm saying his whole life, it's not just been me.
No, it hasn't.
Okay.
But I stopped.
No, you haven't. You still react the same way when you're pissed off. Don't even say that you don't, because you do.
But if you want to know what's wrong with them, that's it. And we
Stop
can't look
pointing
past...
fingers at me.
I didn't... That wasn't a point at you. It was
But
the whole entire circle of what we just talked about.
There's nothing wrong with him. The issue is his parents.
That's what I just said.
It's us. Okay?
So until he stops seeing the anger and stops seeing the violence, he's going to continue.
Right. And I can't control you. And you can't control me.
She already
No,
claims
we
she
We
can't
only
control
have
herself.
control over ourselves. So how does that get fixed?
You have to stop.
It doesn't work like that. You don't just, I just go stop. It doesn't work like that.
Not when you
I
have
need
mental
help.
disorders.
You need help. We need help collectively. I mean, months ago, we were supposed to be doing this marriage counseling thing all along together. And we haven't. Instead, the world went to shit and we clung to each other in fear. But that's not going to keep us...
I didn't quit my counseling.
I'm not pointing the fingers at you. I said we did not do marriage counseling, didn't I? I didn't say,
And Dr. Close is willing to do that.
well, we can't do that down there. We don't live in Ohio anymore. He doesn't take our insurance.
We don't know that he doesn't take our insurance.
Well, call and ask him then. You haven't raised any olive branch to me about any of this to say, honey, would you come and have a meeting with me with him? Nothing.
Yes, I have. And so is he.
Months ago.
And did it follow? You're the one who has to follow through and other
We
people say.
did. And then everything went to shit, and I wasn't leaving the house. You weren't even going.
I did it over the phone every single week.
I realize you did. But you didn't ask me to do it on the phone with you. Because had you, I would have done it. This is a communication breakdown again.
So during that time, my counselor actually even reached out to her and communicated with her, trying to get her to come in and do it over the phone even with me. And she still refused to. She talks and talks and talks like she's going to do good, but then in her follow-through is nothing. I didn't quit my therapy. She was welcome to join us on the phone and do the therapy together over the phone. Even my counselor called her, and she still refused to do it. And this is why you hear me go silent, because, I mean, you cannot talk in... There's nothing I can say. She's just going to make up, and you just heard it. I mean, nobody helped. Nobody offered me. Yes, we did. Oh, well, that was months ago. Well, you didn't follow through. I mean, she doesn't. It's hard to talk to somebody who can't make sense out of anything and just wants to twist everything around.
Because walking away from each other and going to bed and not talking about it doesn't solve the same issues that we've had all along. And now you just told me that you're only here because of me. So now there's a whole other layer of shit that you have inside that you're not even telling me.
Keep trying to throw stuff in the pot.
You just said the only reason I'm here is because of me.
Yes, you are the only reason I'm here. You and our children.
You hear our kids crying in the background,
Doesn't mean
and
this isn't where I want to be. I am here, standing here right now because of you and our children. Because I love you all.
you hear how many times she says, "I love you" back.
Was it for the three of you? I don't know where I...
I had to walk away. I don't know if it's still, if it was in what I've already aired or not, but in one of these, in this, I'm pretty sure it was this recording, she even admits to clotheslining our son feet over his head. He was only 3 years old. She thought she had COVID and had a panic attack, and him and I are playing in the house. She walked into the room, and as he ran past her, she stuck out her arm and just completely clotheslined him. Again, she even stated she can't control herself. Again, you see it over and over in these text messages. She blames it on, over years, blaming it on everything but her mental illness. Even though she admits she has this mental illness, but claimed in court she's been cured. That's the problem. Again, you hear who's with the kids. Me.
You see the stars?
Best of all the people on the planet, I would pray and hope that you would be the one who would give me some measure of grace. I did it for you. And actually, maybe I didn't do it as good for you, because even during that time I can remember being irritated and frustrated, and I couldn't, and attacked when you were being in your own mode with your own depression, with your issues.
I just had surgery.
Maybe I didn't do it as good for you either.
2 major surgeries. While she's splashing kids' pee and poop water in my face while I'm sitting on the toilet, passing full stools of blood. Coming out with water in my eyes because it was so painful after having my colon and my intestine reconnected and everything I had done down there.
But I do know I raised 2 teenagers who are very stable and love me, and if they were abused and had a horrible childhood, they wouldn't even want to speak to me.
No, one ended up committing suicide and killing himself instead. Refusing to come and see her.
And it's hurtful that you paint me as if I'm like your mother or your father, because that's not the case. Probably hurts you, hurts me as much as it hurts you. You look at it that way because when you saw it, it was that.
I don't even think about my parents or any of my past when we go through this.
She's the one who always brings it up. And my ex-wife,
You
and
just brought it up at the playground.
anything that can hurt me.
Brought what up?
Never mind.
Yeah, you heard it in the recording when we were...
We didn't even talk about any of this at the playground.
Yes, we did. You said I have colon damage because I was spanked. So you look at it from that lens. You look at it as they beat you, and because I spank him, it's damaging.
The thing is you do it in anger.
And
When you're in anger mode, you don't know what you're doing. You took him feet over his
I
head.
have
off
raised
his feet
2
and right on
children
his
who
back.
are perfectly fine.
Right there's where that was about him being clotheslined. And you hear she does not deny it.
They're not abused children. Did they act like abused children?
No, not till they turn 17 and kill themselves and turn to sex and drugs and alcohol and...
That's a female.
I have never met a female in my life who acts like that. Never. Having occasional breakdowns, and she does it over so much.
I think you're overgeneralizing right now.
No, because I get calls at 1 o'clock in the morning. She'd get calls at 1 in the morning being woke up because she's having mental breakdowns. She's being psychiatrically treated and medicated for her mental illness. But her mom doesn't want to accept that and admit it.
It's hard to tell what it is, but see between the trees right there? See the big bright light?
Again, me back with the kids. You just heard her walk into the house. Who's with the kids? Always me. I'm the one who was always with those kids. Again, you ask anybody, go to every church, every neighbor, everywhere we've lived. Those kids are wrapped around me 24/7. She wants to claim that I'm the one that her and the kids are afraid of. But yet you keep hearing in these recordings, Mommy's mean, Mommy's bad, Mommy's this, Mommy's that. Daddy, I love you. It's been 1.5 years since I've been with my kids. 1.5 years of them being stuck in this woman and her family and all of their abuse. I made a video prior to this that I just told a short bit of what I know about her family. And part about this protection order taking away my gun rights, one, I have physical disabilities. I cannot defend myself. I, out in public, openly defend other people, even with these problems. Just a few months ago, I was at Walmart. And you walk in the front door and you end up pacing people that you walk in the door with through the store. I saw this couple and this guy was just being absolutely ruthless. His mouth, the way he talked to his woman, I don't know if it was his wife or his girlfriend, who she was. It was absolutely disgusting. So as I reached the checkout, they're in the next lane over. And when the woman asked me how I was doing at the register, and I made sure that they heard this, I said, I'm better than that woman over there who has to deal with that man and his mouth and what he says to her. And I made sure they heard me say it. I stand up every time I see victims, and I try to fight for their rights. But I can't fight for my own. Well, that's what I'm here to try to do, is fight for my own. That's why I'm doing this. I need the right to defend myself. I've heard stories in her family about how her real dad went over to her stepdad's house with 2 of his buddies and beat him so bad they put him in the hospital. Just to do it. Well, now Dad has a thought that I'm the one abusing his daughter and children because she's claiming this and a court allowed her, and she's using that court paperwork to say, look, even the court found him guilty. She's even using it in court against me right now in a different court system. Look, he's a bad person because this court found him guilty of abuse. I proved her wrong. And not only did they take my rights away, not for 30 days, not for 60 days, not for 90 days, 2 years. For 2 years, I'm not allowed to go to my kids' school and see my kids at school. I'm not allowed for 2 years to go and participate in their activities. That is completely wrong. And what does that teach children? Do you know how mind-twisted these kids are going to be if somebody doesn't stop this right now? Well, our other children will show you how mind-twisted they are when they're killing themselves, doing drugs, out drinking, out prostituting, and everything else. I shouldn't say prostituting. I don't know if she charged anybody for who she was having sex with or just got whatever. Either way, it's all disgustingly wrong. All right, I'm going to stop this and take a break right now. I got to get up and go for a walk.